Hi everyone, Dr. Richard Tran here from Color Chiropractic in Bellingham. I'm excited to be able to do this, but a little bit nervous because this is one in the series of different things that we're going to be trying to do here for you guys, talking about how to be able to prevent problems before they actually start. A lot of you guys are patients of mine, and I would love to get your feedback on whether this is an effective way to be able to utilize this. And even if you're watching this from far away, I'd love to get a thumbs up if you feel like it's a great one, or some suggestions as we go along. Anyway, there's some different things. Obviously, I'm not in uniform attire, but I'm here at Rock Solid Martial Arts, and these are different principles that I've learned from throughout the years, really about how to incorporate good biomechanics. There's this principle, and a lot of these principles are actually covered in a book here by Mr. Skip Hancock. It's called The Path to Excellence. And even though it's talking about the case for a universal martial arts system, I've learned over the years that this is applicable to anything that you can be able to do. So whether you have neck issues, whether you have lower back, shoulder related issues, the things that you'll actually learn in this book and the principles from Mr. Skip Hancock have been really foundational to a lot of the different things that I teach my own patients. So I'll include a link to the description in this video, but also you might want to check out an interview that I did with Mr. Skip Hancock so you can kind of see how his mind thinks. So one of the things that Skip imparted, I just heard him say this once, was whenever I'm moving, I want to heal my body instead of hurting my body. That was really important to me as a chiropractor, because I'm working with a lot of different people when, we're trying to fix them, but the problem is that when they move, they go out into the world, they're lifting certain things, they're actually hurting their body because of the way that they move, because they don't understand these foundational principles. So one of the foundational principles is that the skeletal structure should carry the weight of the body. Okay, and I'm just going to use Penny here. Why don't you just stand facing that way, Penny? Hopefully this is a good angle for you guys. In chiropractic, we understand the importance of alignment. There are certain markers that we use, and if you guys kind of like shot a picture and you want to send it to me, we can look at this type of thing. There should be what we call a plumb line, an ideal line, because when your body's in good alignment, it's carrying the weight of your body, the skeletal structure. So the ears should be in alignment with the shoulder, should be in alignment with the middle of the hip, and should be in alignment with her knee. Okay? If you guys can see, and I don't have the best angle, but you can see that Penny, if you were to go from here, this should actually be where her ear is. Okay? So if she were back like this, which is a little bit awkward, but that's more that ideal structure carrying the weight of the body. So the thing is, how are we going to be able to do that? See, if Penny's usual structure is such that it's forward, which is very common, what is that going to do? It's going to cause neck issues. It's going to cause headaches. It could cause the different types of shoulders. And what we think about is we need to work with these foundations that we set up. So let's think about, sometimes it's good to understand things by understanding what they're not. Okay? Let's just say in everyday life, we're constantly trying to do certain things, especially with this being summertime when we're taping this. If we're lifting certain types of things, and you can lift things with bad biomechanics, right? So let's just say this weight, for instance, could represent a bag of dirt, certain types of things, and with bad posture, we can see how the skeletal structure is not supporting the body. So if she has her head down and she rounds her shoulders forward, she rounds out her back, right? She doesn't, have very good stabilization here. Go ahead and pick up that weight there, Penny. Okay? Now, easy enough for her to do because it's a weight that she can handle, but then compound that after a couple of hours, and you can see how that's going to add up to strain. So how are we going to change this? Okay, let's go ahead and bring it back down. Okay, So the first thing, if you want to prevent, let's just say, even neck issues from the beginning, the first thing when Penny needs to start lifting is she needs to have her eyes up. You know, a lot of you guys, you don't even need to be lifting anything. This could be a computer, you know. If your eyes aren't up to the proper level of your screen and they're down here, that's going to bring your eyes down, and then your shoulders and all that stuff are not going to be in alignment. So go ahead and we'll have you lift that same weight, but now keep your eyes up this time. You see how that is a little bit different from when she lifted it before. And how did that feel? Yeah, better, right? We're changing things a little bit, okay? Eyes up is the first thing. Once she has her eyes up, the next one is chin up, okay? You can visualize this idea of, you know, Skip would often talk about the idea of having a pencil here, and I've done this on a couple of my patients where, you know, you have a pencil just right here, and it's right here at that sternal notch, and if that were a triangle, then that would be the ideal neck, okay? If her neck was forward, you can put your hand right here. Go ahead and put your hand there, Penny. And you can see, you can feel a little bit of tension in your neck, right? The more that you bring your head up, there's that portion where it's actually more relaxed, right? That's how you prevent things like headaches on a postural level. So let's do it eyes up and chin up this time. Okay? A little bit different. I'd like you guys to be able to practice that. So the other thing we want to talk about, once we control, you know, working with the neck, we want to control the midsection, okay? A lot of how we function is we function like this. We're in this society where a lot of the things that we're doing is go, go, go. We're rounding off our shoulders. We're creating what's called an upper cross syndrome, and our shoulders aren't back. We're not having good posture, okay? So one thing we want to do is being able to pay attention to that. Having the shoulders back, you know, is one key factor, okay? Having that in alignment here. So as Penny lifts with the shoulders back, go ahead and do that. Okay? That's a little bit different, you know? She's having her skeletal structure carrying the weight of her body, okay? Another aspect, you know, which we probably won't cover so much today, but I'll talk about this in concept, is once the shoulders are back, we also want the shoulder blades to be sunken down, okay? So it's not even so much that the shoulder's back here, but they're down like this, okay? This especially helps out to lock in those shoulders, having the upper traps not be so tense, and allows her later on to incorporate movement. Note here that in this video, we're talking about creating stability, which is different from mobility, okay? She's training here to have good posture in a stable environment, not necessarily moving around, okay? So go ahead and have those shoulders shrunken. Let's go ahead and do that lift one more time, okay? Better and better each and every time. So now let's talk about the lower section, okay? In this term, we're talking about problems down here. Now, a lot of you guys that maybe come into the office, you have some of these different conditions, but you may not realize that, hey, it's actually coming about as a result of not stabilizing these things, okay? So once you kind of set this up, the idea of actually having your back straight is actually pretty easy. But one thing that we really want to pay attention to is how close is the object that you're lifting in relation to your back, right? If this object were out here, even with good biomechanics, you know, let's just say that, go ahead and try to lift that, Penny, and you know, try to have that good biomechanics. See, she's just using her upper body to be able to carry that weight, right? But the further it is, the further the weight is away from the center of gravity, the more that she's actually hurting herself, okay? So the idea of having it real close, okay, and just having it close to the center of gravity, go ahead and lift it again, her back is actually straight, easy to do along with that foundation that she has. Now we get to this point of how do we control things like the pelvis, okay? There's this idea of, that they talk about in martial arts of the neutral position, okay? As Penny is like this, you know, she's kind of in this, you can see that her lower back in here, if you were to put your hands here, this area would actually tighten the more that she leans forward. Okay, you can do that for yourself. But as she leans back, there's less tension there, and eventually there's this idea of the sinking of the butt, you know? So if she comes back to the portion where she can't come back anymore, but there's a sinking of the butt that needs to occur, that's neutrality. That's all about the skeletal structure carrying the weight of the body, you know? And the natural tendency is if she needs to bend back anymore, then you would have to bend your knees, okay? So that's how we want to be able to maximize the effectiveness of alignment with posture and not have the muscles try to recruit in order to get the job done. So here, focus on the sinking of the butt, keeping everything else that we talked about, and just allowing your knees to bend. Go ahead.
Do you want me to pick up?
Yep. Okay, easy enough, okay? Hopefully you guys have seen the evolution that every time when she's doing this, it's getting easier and easier. Try this for yourself in whatever exercises that you end up doing. I really hope that this has been constructive for you. Again, you know, it's a new thing to try to incorporate these things, but a lot of foundational principles as we come along. I don't know, Penny, if you have any comments at all on you know, some of the different things that we talked about here.
Well, self-defense or good posture is there is a whole lot of benefits, like you breathe better, you feel more confident in yourself. From a self-defense standpoint, you're not as likely to be a victim because you're more aware and of, you know, what's going on around you. Mm-hmm. So I could probably list, you know, a whole page of benefits with good posture.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's easier on your joints,
mm-hmm.
and it's just overall healthy inside and outside.
Cool. Well, you know, hopefully that this has been useful for you guys. We might even, you know, have a collaboration a little bit later on how this applies to self-defense. You can see me spar, or we can spar together. We'll see. But, you know, whatever, anything for the fans, you know. Anyways, I hope that you like this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you like it. Feel free to share it, and we'll see you next time.